Good morning. It's the 6th of August 2020. The sun is shining so brightly here in Northumberland. I'm not sure that you'll get a really clear picture of me, but of course that may be an advantage for those of you who are watching this and not listening to it. Today is the Feast of the Transfiguration. We remember this lovely story recorded in 3 of the Gospels where Jesus goes up the mountain, his glory is revealed, and the disciples worship him, almost going into a trance, a daze at the experience. It's an important feast of the Lord, and parallels have always been seen between the Transfiguration and the whole experience of worship. We come together to pray, to worship, so that the glory of Christ may be revealed and that we may know Christ's glory in our lives. That's important. But it's also important to remember what is said on the Mount of Transfiguration. I'm just going to remind us of a little bit at the end of St. Luke's account. And a voice came from heaven saying, "This is my Son, the chosen one. Listen to him." This is my Son, the chosen one. Listen to him. If our prayer and worship are to have any meaning, they have to be translated into the way in which we act and the way in which we live our lives. If we do not listen to Jesus, if we do not live and act in the way that Jesus teaches us, then the experience of worship does not make any sense. Alongside this great celebration of the glory of God today, we also have a momentous day in our history, the history of the last century, the 20th century, and indeed the history of humankind. Because 75 years ago today, towards the end, almost you might say, at the end of the Second World War, and as an act to try and end further fighting, the American government, the American Air Force, dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. On this day, when we celebrate the glory of God, we also saw the immense destructive power that humankind can release within the world that God has given us. Now, there are arguments on either side about the use of this bomb. Was it a good gesture to end a war that was dragging on, or was it an evil use of power, even in a good cause? And I don't want to enter into that discussion now. It's for all of us to reflect on. But I am one of those generation that was brought up, being born in the 1950s, with the fear of atomic warfare around in our lives during our childhood and our youth. We have to remember, against the glory of God, the destructive power that can be released through human beings. And even more important are those words of God about Jesus. Listen to him, live in his way, so that we may be blessed, we may be creators and not destroyers. May God bless us all.